Frass is a generic term for insect manure. So what's being talked about here in this video is mealworm frass. And mealworm frass is one of the things I make here. So these are all mealworm trays. I raise mealworms and I ship out live mealworms for folks that are going to use it for reptile feed, poultry feed, wild bird feed, things like that. And the only byproduct or waste from those mealworms is their frass. And frass is actually a really good soil amendment. What I personally really like about the mealworm frass is that it's not altered or adjusted. At least mine isn't. And so what I do is, this machine right here is a mealworm sifter. So the mealworms grow at different rates and they're different size, and so that sifter will separate out the different sizes, but it also separates the frass from the mealworms. So in trays like this, you've got mealworms, which is what's on top here, and you've got the frass. Let's take a look. So frass is this brown stuff, like sandy type substance, and then you've got the mealworms in here, right? And if we go look in some of the trays down here, you can see that sometimes there's still bran left over, which is what I feed them, along with a hydration source. So here are these guys hanging out. They're just growing, eating, hanging out. Once they eat through most of that food, and all that's in there is the larva and the frass, I'll go ahead and harvest them. So, like these trays here. In this tray, and in this entire row, you can see we've got just that frass, and then all these larvae, and some exoskeletons. And by all the trays, I mean, ooh, there's even more than that. All those trays are in that state. And so what I'll do is take those trays, come back to this sifter, and just pour them in and sift them out, separate them out. Okay, so they go in here, goes through different meshes, different sieves. The frass comes out here. And so it does an initial sift on the inside to get all the larvae out. And then I put it through a much finer mesh. And what this mesh does is it gets any of that leftover bran or leftover food potentially, or hydration sources that might still be in there, so that what comes out is that pure, clean frass. And that's all I do to it. I package it up from that point in various different sizes. I actually have a bunch here that we collected this week. So what I'll do is I'll weigh these and then put them in bulk bags. Those bags hold anywhere from 750 to 1,000 pounds. But I also have 1-pound pouches and 10-pound boxes. And so the 10-pound box is a paper bag, a cardboard box. Put the frass in. There's no chemical additives. There's no heat treatment. There's no processing or adjustment of the frass. It just comes out of the insect, gets separated from that insect, and that's it. And I really like that. I like that there's no manipulation or adjustment to the frass that's produced here. It's just good, clean frass. So I've got nutrient analysis on my website, midwestmealworms.com. If you go look at the frass page, or if you go to midwestmealworms.com frass, this guy here, well, midwestmealworms.com/frass. It'll take you to the page that has all the nutrient analysis, some interesting stuff recently about the amino acids in my frass as well. So if you have any questions, let me know.